president, and that was the tax reform.
Yeah.
Everything else, for the most part, has failed, usually when a court has to intervene. But here's what Sessions, who supported the same Immigration Act that Hitler did, the same guy who in the 1980s couldn't get confirmed by Congress because of testimony that indicated he was very racist, of supporting policies that have always been in support of a white supremacist society. One, and when I say that, I mean one that disregards the liberties that are stripped away and have been stripped away for a long time by anybody who is not white.
Yeah.
So here's what Jeff Sessions has managed to do in 1 year. He has essentially stopped the oversight of the police departments who have been accused of brutality against people of color. Remember, in Detroit, Justice Department came in and the number of cop involved shootings went way down.
Right. So how does he have an effect on that?
Because he is the head of the Justice Department and the U.S. Attorney General, and by virtue of being the U.S. Attorney General, he has the ability to shape policy for things that are very important to our lives: voting, police issues, mass incarceration, First Amendment. It goes on and on. These are things that we hold dear,
right,
very dear. So Sessions reinvigorated the war on drugs. He's now going after states that have legalized pot. He ended a commission charged with improving forensic science standards, and then halted a review of closed cases, even as those efforts were discovering that faulty forensic evidence was responsible for wrongful convictions. Sessions doubled down on civil asset forfeitures. We want to get into that later because civil asset forfeitures is a tyrannical practice used by police departments to systemically strip people of color and people in a lower economic class of their money. He has been power engine behind the attack on sanctuary cities, on DACA, on immigration.
And DACA
is a policy that says if when you were a kid, you were brought to America without a visa. You came in here, essentially somebody would have escorted you, and probably your family.
Okay.
Would have got you into the country illegally. But in America, we have let those kids who didn't come, without the guidance of a parent. Now, what DACA does is it protects those children who came here so that when they turn 30 years old,
they don't get deported.
They don't get deported to a country they don't remember.
Right.
And whose language they don't understand.
Which is going on right now.
Yeah, and we just saw that in Metro Detroit, where a man, a father, who took care of his sick wife, loved his children, had no criminal record, and he was just deported. Sessions is the engine behind that. And, let's not forget this. He's now seeking recourse for so-called white victims of affirmative action. Now, the Justice Department historically has been used to enforce policies that have an impact on equality. So he's now taking resources that were used to protect people of color and other marginalized people, and then uses it to protect white people. This is a man who is a serious danger. And when we talk about Donald Trump, and this is just a partial list, and we'll get into more of them and why a lot of these matter later, but Donald Trump sits on his toilet in the morning, tweets like a little baby. We get outraged, and he can't get anything done because he's like a little child with a temperament of a grease fire.
Sounds about right.
But behind the scenes, Sessions, this is what he's doing.
Then again, this goes back to Donald Trump himself saying that he doesn't read. So him saying that, do you think he's really the one that's making big decisions on here? He's tweeting away behind his desk.
No, he's got a pause.
While his boys is out doing the damage.
Yeah, he's got some vague idea of what it means to make America great again.
So while America's wrapped up around Trump, all these crazy bills is being passed, and you're not even knowing about it.
Yeah, I mean, not even bills. I mean, these things don't.
Well, yeah,
bills. It's just an issue of allocation. Where am I going to put my services?
Yeah.
So, let's talk about this guy and why he's so dangerous. 313-778-7600. Again, the number to the studio is 313-778-7600. Let's go to the phones. Acha, what's going on?
God bless you, Eagle Eye.
Hey, I appreciate that, brother.
What's happening? The prosecutor's office have always been racist. They seek to win.
Yeah.
Against they only seek to win. They don't seek for justice.
And remember too, and sorry to cut you off because I love where you're going with this, and I just think this is a great example to insert in there. Is even Bobby Kennedy, when he was Attorney General, he was the one who gave J. Edgar Hoover permission to conduct surveillance on Martin Luther King.
Wow.
But Acha, not to cut you off, keep going, please.
The Kennedys weren't Negro lovers. They didn't care nothing about Negro until the Negroes, the black people, took up guns and got tired of the 400 years of sodomized, rape, murder, dragging behind trucks. That's when Kennedy sent the troops in and all, because he didn't want black folks killing white folks. The same with Kim Worthy. The only thing Kim Worthy did was prosecute Devils and Buxton 20, 30 years ago. But ever since then, she tried to prosecute two young black men out in Southwest Detroit, Lincoln Park, somewhere out there, because on the word of white folks, and they were innocent.
Yeah, that happened way too many times.
The prosecutor's office, Rupert Murdoch was in control of the rap industry because he connected with the prosecutor's office in Washington, and he had this jail prison rope hanging over the rapper's head. So they had to do what they were told. They had to do what they were told. And this guy out in California, the guy that used to beat up producers and all, he's in jail now, I think. He was doing the work. What is his name? You remember?
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. But
red suit. They think he killed. They think
Suge
he
Knight.
killed.
Suge Knight.
Suge Knight.
There you go.
He was working under Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
Rupert Murdoch had in charge of he had a rope over the head of all the rappers.
Yeah.
And this, McCain's daughter, Megan, she said that Trump, Donald Duck, was a racist because he was trying to appeal to his base.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
What is his base? His base, Donald Trump's base, is the Assembly of God, the evangelicals, Jimmy Swaggart, Jim Baker, Pat Robinson, and all the TV evangelists on your television. That's his base. She said that he was trying to. He's a racist because he was trying to appeal to her in his base.
Right. Well, Asha, man. Asha, man, I got to cut you off, man, because I got a lot more callers. But thank you so much for the call. It's always great hearing from you. It's always insightful. I mean, that's what's so great about, this show is you can go to a place and have a discussion about our civil rights. We don't usually you turn on TV and there's these distractions, or you go on Twitter and there's Trump distracting us some nonsense.
Yeah.
And then you have...
That's all it is, distracting.
This little, I don't even know how to describe it, like a little gremlin, who has held racist beliefs for so long and is now incorporating that into law. He's taking what the Obama administration did and just eradicating it and then rolling it back in some cases to before the Civil Rights Act. I mean, some of these policies from, voter ID and making it more difficult for African Americans to vote, it harkens back to Jim Crow South. And it is no surprise that this old raisin face, who is, the head of the Justice Department, would, have such a... I mean, I don't even know where the vitriol comes from, but it is something that is so alarming that I think when we think about Trump's administration, we're going to look back a lot on what Jeff Sessions did, because you're going to see people in prison longer. And most of the people are going to be black. Mm-hmm. You're going to see...
And you see that now. I mean,
you're absolutely seeing it. You're absolutely seeing it.
For minor charges and maximum sentence.
This guy is going after sanctuary cities. He is the driving force behind the systemic removal of immigrants who came here as children and sending them back to essentially a death sentence. This is a scary time. And when I hear people talking about, little things in life and getting frustrated about it, I'm just thinking, you're losing some of your First Amendment rights. You are in a situation where if you end up in court, you're not going to be doing very well. We're talking about a guy who wants to increase civil asset forfeitures.